my own agency for the last 7 years, and we primarily work in SEO and website content. And one of the main questions that I'm often asked is, does my website need a blog? Should I be blogging? Is blogging a waste of time? Is AI killing blog posts? And today I am making a video in defense of blogs and talking to you about a variety of reasons that blogs can be extremely valuable for your website, even more so in today's landscape. So I'm going to be making a separate video all about how to make sure that your blog posts are converting, some of the foundational pieces that you need to make a successful blog, the types of content that you should be creating. But today, I'm just going to be talking about why it's valuable for you to spend your time, your energy, your effort on making sure that your website does have a blog. And this is something that translates across all business types. So certainly there are going to be websites that are heavily publication based, where blogging is your bread and butter. But even for things like a local service-based business or an e-commerce business, there is incredible value in having fresh, new content on your site in the form of a blog, making sure that you are connecting with your ideal customer. So here are some of the main reasons that I think having a blog is important for your website. And first and foremost is around establishing expertise and authority. And this is something that is becoming even more important now in the dawn and the age of AI and AI search. Being able to demonstrate that you are an expert and an authority in what you do, and bringing helpful, fresh, relevant content to the internet, this is now your competitive differentiator. There's a lot of people who are simply, plugging in a topic to AI and saying, write me a blog post on this. But Google even now is highly emphasizing firsthand lived experience with a given topic. And so if you are an expert, whether that is something that you went to school for and you are truly like a certified expert in your area of practice, or whether you are an e-commerce store owner and you just know a lot about the things that matter to your clients and to the people that you serve, your blog is one of the best places for you to be able to demonstrate that and set yourself apart from the competitors. So it's a really great way to get your name out. It's a really great way to, again, just establish that you are the go-to resource for the area that you serve your clients with. And so from that, this is a really great way to build that trust, build some of that social proof even. So when people are comparing you against a competitor or just working with you at all, it's a great way to ease your client friction points through some already established content. So depending on your business, people may have questions around, should I even be getting this service? Is this service right for me? How can I use this product if I am this type of person? Creating blog content that serves a purpose to ultimately move people towards feeling confident enough that they can connect with you, purchase from you, whatever that might be. Leveraging your blog as a way of easing those friction points is really valuable, because that's going to free up your time. It's going to show that you have thought of your client's experience. If you're emailing back and forth with someone and they have a question, it's awesome to be able to say, you know what? We have a blog post all about this. Feel free to go and check it out here. Here's some highlights. It shows that you are already thinking about your client's experience. So it's a really great asset, certainly as you grow. If you have a support or a sales team, or even just an admin or a receptionist who sits at the front, you're welcoming people, they can use this as a way to help better serve your customers and your clients. Then, of course, we are going into some things that are a little bit more technical. If you are looking to improve your SEO, then blogs are a really great way to improve your keyword diversity. And this is something that we work with our clients a lot, where a lot of people have one very specific keyword that they want to rank for, and they are just writing that one keyword, focusing everything on that keyword. And blogs are a really great way to start ranking for the terms around that target keyword. What are the questions related to that target keyword? What are the things that that person who is searching for that target keyword are thinking about and considering? Multiple ways of phrasing and framing one thing you can do that through blog posts. So it allows you to remain very specific on your core pages for that one particular keyword that you really want to dial in on, while making sure that you are enhancing the site as a whole, diversifying how you're attracting your traffic, while still supporting that core keyword that you're wanting to rank for by demonstrating to the rest of the website that you are an expert on this entire topic. So that does tie into that expertise and that authority, is that you are not just talking about this one thing on a service page, but you can actually dive deep into this subject and again, demonstrate that you are a trusted source, both for users as well as when Google is determining which websites they should be showing in a Google search results. It's also helpful, again, from a slightly even more technical perspective, to improve the internal linking and the structure of your website. So you can take blog posts and from that blog post, link to your service page. From your service page, link to some helpful resources and some blogs that you might have. If you have a team where you have multiple people who might be writing content to establish their individual expertise, you can link to their author page, and from their author page to their blog posts. So it's a really great way of improving your overarching site structure. And especially if you're wanting to book out individual team members, creating blog posts is a really helpful way for them to be able to establish themselves independently within your website and really push their individual expertise as well. And so on that topic too, if you provide multiple services, say for example that you are a health and wellness practice, so maybe you do physiotherapy and acupuncture and registered massage therapy. So you have multiple different people, multiple different services that you're wanting to target. Maybe with those services you target athletes and new moms and people who are seniors. Through your blog posts, you are able to speak very directly to multiple audiences to provide that relevant information in a way that might be challenging for your core service pages. So if you have one page for chiropractic, you might want to have considerations for senior citizens or athletes for chiropractic care. You can create blog posts that speak to that very specifically, while still linking back to a core main service page that remains slightly more general. So being able to get really specific with your audiences as well as your levels of consideration. So if you are an e-commerce shop and you have a very specific product, you might think, let's say you're selling swimsuits. Yes, you might have people who are searching for, a black two-piece swimsuit, but you might also have people who are packing for a beach vacation or who are going on a bachelorette party and want to make it fun and special. Now you have an opportunity to associate your product with these moments where they might not be yet looking for a bathing suit, but they're looking for inspiration and they're looking for the things that surround your product without competing with it. So again, multiple audiences and multiple levels of consideration, very easy to target and execute with a blog strategy. One of the other things that I always try to emphasize for our clients in particular is that anytime that you are creating content on your website, what you're really doing is creating an asset. And this is an asset that can be used and leveraged in multiple different ways. So anytime that you write a blog post, it's not just a page on your website. One of the common questions and concerns that I hear from a lot of people as well, what do I post on my social media? What do I say on LinkedIn? What do I put in a newsletter? Blogs. Take your blogs and then actually share and distribute them. And this way you're not just waiting for Google to eventually, find your blog post and start to rank for it organically. You're being proactive and you're using and leveraging that piece of content multiple times over. There's certainly a lot of ways that you can use tools and AI to really leverage this and make the most of it. Putting in your blog post and saying, make me 10 social media captions, write me a newsletter based off of this blog. Lots of different ways to sort of ease the burden of using this multiple times. But this is something, especially when it's hosted on your website, this is a piece of content that can be used over and over again that will continue to drive results over time and is truly going to be, a long-term benefit for your website. And speaking of that, the content that you make on your website is something that you truly own. And more social media is kind of becoming like a search engine where, older posts are resurfacing. But when you have someone on your website and when you drive that traffic there, you have a lot more ownership and control over what happens to that traffic and what happens to that user. If you're creating content on Instagram, yes, you're certainly building, brand awareness and authority, but it's often much more challenging to actually get a conversion from that, especially if you're a service-based business. When you bring people to your website, you can then have control over that internal linking. You can drive them to your service page. You can more easily embed contact forms and ways for people to actually move forward and reach out to you. So if you are spending time creating content and creating these blog posts, you have a lot more opportunity to actually move that reader into a customer. So owning and leveraging that content on your website is extremely valuable. And finally, when people are talking about how AI is, killing search or it's killing blogs, right now, AI search is very heavily emphasized on informational posts. So people are asking questions. And when you have blog posts that very clearly answer the questions that people are asking, that is going to improve your ability to show up in AI overviews, as well as AI search engines like Perplexity, Gemini, and Search GPT. So if you are wanting to remain on the cutting edge, if you're wanting to remain visible, blogging is a really profound and excellent way for you to be able to make the most of your website. Oftentimes people will create a website, put it up, and then that's that. They don't often return to it. I see this especially for service providers and more local businesses. And so having blog posts is a really great way to keep fresh, relevant, new content continuously being added to your website in a way that can be leveraged across multiple different platforms and multiple different uses. So if you were ever considering starting a content strategy and starting to blog on your website, I highly recommend that you get started today. And certainly if you have any questions, if you'd like me to answer anything else in another video, please leave a comment down below. And if you would like help with your content strategy and your blogging, Searchlight Digital would be happy to help.